What if I told you that the man she dismissed as cold was actually operating on a level of consciousness most people can't even comprehend? That his silence wasn't rejection, but the calculated restraint of a true Sigma male. Welcome back to Official Sigma Male, where we decode the mysteries of authentic masculine power. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most misunderstood aspects of Sigma male behavior, the perception of emotional coldness. While society trains us to mistake quiet confidence for indifference, the Sigma male operates in a realm where every action is deliberate, every word carries weight, and every emotion serves a strategic purpose. You see, the Sigma male doesn't broadcast his feelings like a billboard on a highway. He doesn't need validation through emotional displays or constant communication. Instead, he embodies what I call purposeful restraint, the ability to maintain emotional equilibrium while others around him spiral into chaos. This isn't coldness, it's mastery. Think about the most successful men throughout history. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple by wearing his heart on his sleeve. Elon Musk didn't revolutionize multiple industries by being emotionally reactive. These Sigma males understood that true power comes from emotional intelligence, not emotional expression. They recognized that in a world full of noise, silence becomes the ultimate weapon. The woman in our story made the classic mistake that 90% of people make when encountering a Sigma male. She confused his measured approach with emotional unavailability. She interpreted his selective communication as disinterest, his boundaries as rejection, and his independence as coldness. But what she failed to recognize was that she was witnessing something extraordinary. A man who had transcended the need for external validation and achieved true emotional autonomy. This is why understanding Sigma male psychology is crucial. In today's world, we live in an era where emotional reactivity is rewarded, where constant communication is expected, and where vulnerability is confused with weakness. The Sigma male represents the antithesis of these modern misconceptions. He operates from a place of inner strength, emotional stability, and purposeful action. Throughout this deep dive, we'll explore 6 fundamental aspects of Sigma male behavior that are often misinterpreted as coldness. We'll examine the strategic silence that creates magnetic attraction, the emotional independence that intimidates the masses, the selective investment that preserves energy for worthy pursuits, the boundary establishment that commands respect, the authentic presence that needs no performance, and the purposeful restraint that separates legends from ordinary men. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why the Sigma male's apparent coldness is actually his greatest strength. You'll learn how to recognize these traits in yourself and others. And most importantly, you'll discover how to harness these principles to elevate your own life and relationships. If you're ready to unlock the secrets of Sigma male psychology and transform your understanding of authentic masculine power, make sure to subscribe to Official Sigma Male and hit that notification bell. We're building a community of men who refuse to settle for mediocrity and choose to operate at the highest levels of consciousness. Your future self will thank you for making this commitment to growth and self-mastery. The Sigma male's path isn't for everyone, but for those who choose it, the rewards are extraordinary. Let's begin this transformation together. Strategic silence, the power of selective communication. The Sigma male's silence isn't empty space, it's loaded ammunition. While others fill every moment with meaningless chatter, the Sigma male understands that words, like bullets, are most effective when used sparingly and with precision. This strategic silence creates an aura of mystery that draws people in, making them lean forward to catch every word he speaks. Consider the difference between a man who constantly texts, calls, and seeks attention, versus one who communicates only when he has something meaningful to say. The first creates desperation, the second creates anticipation. The Sigma male operates from abundance, not scarcity. He doesn't need to prove his interest through constant communication because his presence alone speaks volumes. This selective communication extends beyond romantic relationships into every aspect of life. In business meetings, while others ramble to appear important, the Sigma male listens intently and speaks only when his words can move the needle. His colleagues hang on his every word because they know that when he speaks, it matters. This isn't calculated manipulation. It's authentic power manifesting through purposeful restraint. The woman who thought he was cold failed to understand that his silence was actually respect. He wasn't withholding communication out of spite. He was honoring the weight of his words. Every message he sent was crafted with intention. Every call had purpose, and every interaction was meaningful. In a world of digital noise, this level of intentionality is revolutionary. Strategic silence also serves as a filtering mechanism. It separates those who can appreciate depth from those who require constant stimulation. The Sigma male doesn't adjust his communication style to accommodate others' insecurities. He maintains his standards and attracts those who can match his frequency. This natural selection process ensures that his inner circle consists of high-value individuals who understand and appreciate his approach. Emotional independence, freedom from external validation. The Sigma male's emotional independence is often mistaken for detachment, but it's actually the highest form of self-mastery. While others seek approval, validation, and emotional support from external sources, the Sigma male has developed an internal compass that guides his actions and decisions. This isn't selfishness, it's self-reliance elevated to an art form. Emotional independence means that the Sigma male doesn't need others to regulate his emotions or validate his choices. He's comfortable with his own thoughts, secure in his decisions, and at peace with solitude. This internal stability creates a magnetic presence that others find both attractive and intimidating. People are drawn to those who possess what they lack: emotional autonomy. When the woman in our story encountered this emotional independence, she interpreted it as coldness because she was operating from a place of emotional dependence. She expected him to seek her validation, to need her approval, and to demonstrate his interest through emotional vulnerability. Instead, she found a man who was complete within himself, who valued her presence but didn't require it for his happiness. This independence allows the Sigma male to love from a place of choice rather than need. His affection isn't born from desperation or fear of abandonment. It's a gift freely given because he chooses to share his life with someone, not because he needs them to complete him. This distinction is crucial and often misunderstood by those who equate love with dependence. The Sigma male's emotional independence also manifests in his ability to make decisions without seeking consensus. He doesn't need group approval or external validation to move forward with his plans. This decisiveness can appear cold to those who are accustomed to collaborative emotional processing, but it's actually the mark of a man who has done the internal work necessary to trust his own judgment. Selective investment, protecting energy for worthy pursuits. Energy is the Sigma male's most precious resource, and he guards it like a treasure. While others scatter their attention across multiple meaningless pursuits, the Sigma male practices selective investment, choosing carefully where to direct his time, energy, and emotional resources. This isn't selfishness, it's strategic living. The Sigma male understands that his energy is finite and that every investment must yield returns aligned with his values and goals. He doesn't engage in small talk for the sake of social lubrication. He doesn't attend every social gathering or respond to every demand on his time. Instead, he evaluates each opportunity through the lens of purpose and potential impact. This selective approach extends to relationships as well. The Sigma male doesn't collect people like trophies or maintain superficial connections for networking purposes. He invests deeply in a few meaningful relationships rather than spreading himself thin across many shallow ones. This quality over quantity approach creates bonds that are stronger, more authentic, and more fulfilling. When the woman encountered his selective investment, she felt excluded because she hadn't yet earned his full attention. She was accustomed to men who gave their energy freely, without discretion or standards. The Sigma male's selectivity challenged her to prove her worth, to demonstrate that she deserved his investment. This dynamic created tension because it shifted the power balance from the typical pattern she was used to. The Sigma male's selective investment also applies to his career, hobbies, and personal development. He doesn't chase every opportunity or say yes to every request. Instead, he focuses on activities that align with his mission and contribute to his growth. This laser-like focus allows him to achieve excellence in his chosen areas, while others remain mediocre across multiple pursuits. Boundary establishment, commanding respect through standards. The Sigma male's boundaries aren't walls built from fear. They're standards maintained from self-respect. He clearly defines what he will and won't accept in his life, and he enforces these boundaries without apology or explanation. This unwavering commitment to his standards is often perceived as coldness by those who are accustomed to flexible boundaries and people-pleasing behavior. Boundary establishment begins with self-awareness. The Sigma male has done the internal work to understand his values, priorities, and non-negotiables. He knows what energizes him and what drains him, what aligns with his mission and what distracts from it. This clarity allows him to make decisions quickly and confidently, without the need for external input or validation. When someone crosses his boundaries, the Sigma male doesn't engage in lengthy explanations or emotional outbursts. He simply removes himself from the situation or removes the person from his life. This matter-of-fact approach to boundary enforcement can appear cold to those who are used to drama, negotiation, and emotional manipulation. But for the Sigma male, boundaries are non-negotiable principles, not starting points for discussion. The woman in our story likely tested his boundaries, expecting him to compromise or explain himself. Instead, she encountered a man who maintained his standards regardless of external pressure. This consistency in boundary enforcement actually demonstrated his integrity and strength of character, but she may have interpreted it as inflexibility or coldness. Healthy boundaries actually enable deeper intimacy and connection. When the Sigma male establishes clear limits, it creates a safe space for authentic interaction. People know where they stand and what's expected, which eliminates the guesswork and manipulation that plague many relationships. This clarity is refreshing for high-value individuals who appreciate directness and authenticity. Authentic presence. The being genuine without performance. The Sigma male's authentic presence is perhaps his most powerful trait and the one most likely to be misunderstood. In a world where people constantly perform versions of themselves to gain acceptance, the Sigma male simply exists as he is. This lack of performance, this refusal to adjust his personality to please others, can be perceived as coldness by those who are accustomed to social chameleons. Authentic presence means that the Sigma male doesn't change his behavior based on his audience. He's the same person whether he's in a boardroom, at a social gathering, or in an intimate conversation. This consistency is rare and powerful because it demonstrates integrity and self-acceptance. He doesn't need to perform different roles to be accepted because he's already accepted himself. This authenticity extends to his emotional expression as well. The Sigma male doesn't manufacture emotions to meet others' expectations or suppress his feelings to appear strong. He simply experiences his emotions fully and expresses them in ways that feel natural and appropriate to him. This emotional honesty can be unsettling to those who are used to emotional performance and manipulation. When the woman encountered his authentic presence, she may have expected him to adjust his behavior to win her approval or demonstrate his interest. Instead, she found a man who remained unchanged regardless of her responses. This consistency and authenticity challenged her to accept him as he was, rather than trying to mold him into what she thought he should be. Authentic presence also means that the Sigma male doesn't engage in games, manipulation, or pretense. He communicates directly, acts with integrity, and maintains his principles regardless of external circumstances. This straightforward approach can seem cold to those who are accustomed to the complex dance of social manipulation and emotional games. 6. Purposeful restraint. Mastering self-control for greater impact. The Sigma male's purposeful restraint is the pinnacle of masculine evolution. It's what separates the legends from the ordinary, the masters from the reactive masses. While the world around him operates in chaos, driven by impulse and immediate gratification, the Sigma male has achieved something extraordinary: complete mastery over his own responses. This isn't cold calculation or emotional suppression. It's the conscious wielding of restraint as a weapon of mass attraction. Imagine a master chess player facing an amateur. The amateur makes moves quickly, reactively, driven by immediate threats and opportunities. The master, however, sees the entire board, considers multiple scenarios, and makes each move with deliberate precision. This is exactly how the Sigma male approaches life. Every action is calculated, every word is weighted, and every emotion is channeled toward maximum impact. Purposeful restraint begins with the understanding that in a world of instant everything, patience becomes a superpower. While others fire off immediate responses to texts, the Sigma male considers the timing, tone, and strategic value of his communication. He doesn't respond within minutes to prove his availability. He responds when his message will have the greatest impact. This isn't game playing. It's strategic communication that demonstrates value through scarcity. This restraint extends far beyond digital communication into every aspect of his existence. In conversations, while others rush to fill silence with meaningless chatter, the Sigma male allows pauses to breathe, creating space for depth and meaning. His silence isn't empty. It's pregnant with possibility, making others lean in to hear what he might say next. This mastery of conversational rhythm is what makes his words carry weight and his presence magnetic. The Sigma male's purposeful restraint is most evident in conflict situations, where others would react with anger, defensiveness, or emotional volatility. He maintains his composure like a skilled martial artist. He understands that the person who loses control first loses the battle. His calm demeanor in the face of provocation doesn't indicate weakness. It demonstrates the kind of inner strength that can only come from years of self-mastery. Consider how this restraint manifests in romantic relationships. While other men might shower a woman with constant attention, gifts, and declarations of love, the Sigma male maintains a measured approach. He doesn't withhold affection out of cruelty, but he understands that constant availability diminishes value. His restraint creates a natural tension that keeps relationships dynamic and exciting, preventing the stagnation that kills so many modern romances. This purposeful restraint also governs his relationship with success and achievement. The Sigma male doesn't celebrate every small victory or broadcast every accomplishment. He maintains his composure, whether he's winning or losing, understanding that both are temporary states. This emotional equilibrium allows him to make better decisions because he's not clouded by the highs of success or the lows of failure. In the business world, this restraint translates into negotiation power. While others might accept the first offer or react emotionally to criticism, the Sigma male maintains his position with quiet confidence. He knows that desperation is detectable and that the person who can walk away from a deal has the most power. His restraint isn't stubbornness, it's strategic positioning that consistently yields better outcomes. The woman who perceived him as cold was actually witnessing a man who had transcended the need for immediate emotional release. His restraint in sharing his feelings wasn't emotional unavailability, it was selective vulnerability. He understood that emotions shared too freely lose their impact, while feelings expressed at the right moment with the right person create profound connection. This purposeful restraint extends to his consumption habits as well. In a world of instant gratification, the Sigma male practices delayed gratification as a form of strength training. He doesn't immediately purchase every item he desires or indulge every craving. This restraint builds his psychological resilience and ensures that when he does indulge, it's meaningful and satisfying rather than compulsive and regrettable. Perhaps most importantly, the Sigma male's purposeful restraint allows him to maintain his long-term vision in the face of short-term distractions. While others get pulled, of course, by every new opportunity or shiny object, he maintains laser focus on his ultimate objectives. This restraint from reactive decision-making is what allows him to build sustainable success and create lasting impact. The Sigma male also exercises restraint in his social interactions, choosing quality over quantity in every relationship. He doesn't collect contacts or maintain superficial connections for networking purposes. Instead, he invests deeply in a select few relationships that align with his values and contribute to his growth. This selective approach to relationships ensures that his social circle consists of high-value individuals who enhance rather than drain his energy. This restraint even governs his physical presence and body language. The Sigma male moves with deliberate purpose, avoiding fidgeting, unnecessary gestures, or attention-seeking behaviors. His stillness commands respect and draws attention more effectively than any performance could. This mastery of physical restraint communicates confidence and control without saying a word. The true power of purposeful restraint lies in its ability to create space for authentic connection. When the Sigma male does choose to open up, share his thoughts, or express his emotions, the impact is magnified because of its rarity. His restraint makes his moments of vulnerability precious and his expressions of affection deeply meaningful. Understanding purposeful restraint is crucial for any man seeking to elevate his life and relationships. It's not about becoming emotionally unavailable or manipulative. It's about developing the self-control to choose your responses rather than being controlled by your reactions. This mastery over self is what creates the magnetic presence that draws others in and the inner strength that sustains long-term success. The Sigma male's purposeful restraint is ultimately about respect. Respect for his own energy, respect for others' time, and respect for the power of well-timed action. In a world that rewards the loudest voice, he understands that true power whispers. In a culture that celebrates immediate gratification, he demonstrates the strength of delayed satisfaction. This restraint isn't coldness, it's the conscious choice to operate at a higher level of consciousness and effectiveness. Now you understand the truth that eludes 95% of the population. What they mistake for coldness is actually the highest form of masculine evolution. The woman in our story wasn't encountering an emotionally unavailable man. She was face to face with a Sigma male operating at peak performance. Her inability to recognize this distinction cost her the opportunity to connect with authentic masculine power. His strategic silence wasn't disinterest, it was precision. His emotional independence wasn't rejection, it was self-mastery. His selective investment wasn't coldness, it was standards. His boundaries weren't walls, they were strength. His authentic presence wasn't indifference, it was integrity. His purposeful restraint wasn't emotional unavailability, it was wisdom. The tragedy is that she allowed societal conditioning to blind her to authentic masculine power. She expected emotional reactivity, constant availability, and desperate validation seeking. When she encountered a man operating by higher rules, she couldn't recognize the value of what she was experiencing. For men watching this, who recognize these traits in themselves, understand that you're not broken or emotionally damaged. You're operating at a higher frequency than the masses. The key is maintaining your standards while remaining open to those who can match your energy and appreciate your depth. The Sigma male's journey isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming so emotionally intelligent that you choose your responses rather than being controlled by your reactions. It's about loving from choice rather than need, connecting from abundance rather than scarcity, and investing in relationships that enhance rather than drain your energy. If you're committed to developing these qualities, start with self-awareness. Practice strategic silence. Develop emotional independence. Become selective in your investments. Establish clear boundaries. Embrace authentic presence. And master purposeful restraint. This path isn't easy, but it's the most rewarding journey a man can undertake. The world needs men who operate at this level of consciousness. In a society that rewards emotional reactivity and desperate behavior, the Sigma male serves as a beacon of what's possible when a man commits to his own evolution. Your commitment to these principles doesn't just transform your own life, it elevates everyone around you. If this content has resonated with you and you're committed to developing these qualities, I need you to take action right now. Subscribe to Official Sigma Male and hit that notification bell. We're building a brotherhood of men who refuse to settle for mediocrity and choose to operate at the highest levels of consciousness. Your subscription is a commitment to your own growth and evolution. The woman who thought he was cold will one day realize what she missed. Don't let that be your story. Subscribe now and become the man you were meant to be.